Clem versus Parting will not be will not be delayed any longer, and that will be covered by Beomorph. So Beomorph has that PVT, meanwhile Pig has the PVZ with Zest and Blight, and I have my own PVZ with Nice versus Solar. I believe Steadfast is somewhere. I'm not sure where. Steadfast is somewhere. I think he's casting a. I want to say he's casting Estrella versus Nightmare. I think that would make the most sense. But he's somewhere out there casting a PvP. All right, here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the South Korean Zerg representing Kai Z Gaming. Just took down 4GG. Now he's up here against a Protoss. It is Solar. And spawning in. Ooh, the bottom left-hand corner. And we may switch server to Asia. Oh my god, as we have our Taiwanese Protoss, he is red representing Alpha X. It is Nice. Oh. Ooh. We are on the Singaporean server, and interesting. Solar with a 70 ping and Nice with 80. That's impressive. I have 150 to Singapore. That's crazy. No, actually 100. I have 100 right now. That's not bad. Yo, that's not bad. Damn. Some pretty good ping to Singapore. Oh boy, oh boy. So, yeah, good to hear that ping is pretty good for both these players. Obviously, it would be even better on Korea, but they've decided to play on the Singaporean server, not on the Korean. I guess it makes sense. Because if we did play on the Korean server, then Nice would be at a disadvantage and Solo would be at a massive advantage with like 5 ping. So yeah, a little bit more even here on Singapore. Good to hear. And we'll see how things kick off. For the longest time, for many months, for an entire year, Solar in this matchup would go for all-ins. He would go for timing attacks, he'd go for Roach Ravager Queen all-ins or Hydra timings. You know, he would try to end the game early. He does not like to play against Skytoss. But it's been a couple months since I've casted Solar. It's been like 2 months. So I'm curious to see, has he changed his outlook on this matchup? Has he switched things up? Or does he still hate the late game ZvP and does he still want to end it early? It's like one way or another, like Solo wants the game to end in like 10 minutes, maybe. Either he loses or his opponent loses. Meanwhile, Nice opening up with a Stargate. What we would expect. He should from here be going into a Void Ray. We'll see if he commits to double Stargate and goes into double Stargate Void Ray, or if he switches into Adepts. Let's do have a couple of those Adepts moving out across the map. There we go. We have an Oracle first, and we've seen a rise in popularity of triple Oracle openings, so we could even see that from Nice as well. Like the world is his oyster, mate. Do what you want. You're Protoss. Kappa. Meanwhile, the Adepts are here across the map. I mean, they shouldn't be able to do too much. We have a couple of links to chase them. They could commit to the Shade into the main, and they do. How many workers are they going to get? Oh my god, at least 2. Maybe more. As the Ling's going to clean up these Adepts, one of them will go down. The other will commit to the Shade. Can he get another drone? No. Ends up attacking a Queen. Could have maybe taken out a drone and... Oh! Does not. Only two drones go down. Meanwhile, the Oracle dives in. There is a Spore. Not in the best position, but it's good enough. And Solar will push away that Oracle. And from there, of course, we have a Void Ray. I mean, yo, this Overlord, Void Ray, he wants it. He's gonna get it. And we have a second Void Ray on the way. But from here, this is where I'm curious to see what we're gonna have from Nice. Obviously, first he wants to deal with this Overlord before he throws down any more tech because he doesn't want to be scouted. But are we gonna see like +1 flyer attack? Are we gonna see a second Stargate? Are we gonna see a Twilight Council instead? And we have our answer that we have been waiting for. It is going to be that second Stargate. So we are going to see 2 Void Ray production. What's interesting to me is that we've seen a rise in popularity of like faster upgrades as well for air weapons, but we don't have that here. We just have Regular double Stargate. Interesting. Meanwhile, we see a Revelation, and does the Revelation see the Roach Warren? It does. So Nice does get a good eye on the Roach Warren and the Lair. And we should see Queen production not stop. Something that's a little bit surprising to me is that Solar made an extra wave of Lings. 10 Lings are on the way. So with these Lings, sure, he can apply pressure to this third base. Maybe he can force a cancel. I would hope so, because again, he's getting a lot of Lings. 19 Lings in total. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, the Void Rays are slipping in. Can they get a Queen for their troubles? Oh, no. They decide to back off in the end. Doesn't commit. Just shows his hand a little bit. Looks like maybe a bit of indecision there. He does finally dive in, but yeah, can't get too much here. Ooh. Meanwhile, there we go. Lings are finally going across the map. There is that +1 air attack that we were talking about. Finally, it's on the way. It was delayed a little bit. And this is surprising to me. I don't like this, to be honest. But it was delayed because he wanted to get a third Stargate. So triple Stargate production. I feel like this is too much. Typically, when you go Sky Toss, you have an army on the ground to support it, whether it's charge lots. Some players go straight into disruptors, right? So they have disruptor Void Ray for a while. But Nice is going all in on the Sky Toss with that third Stargate. And Void Rays are good, but they're not amazing. Depending on what Solar goes for, to be fair. But we'll see. Oh my god, as he right-clicks on the hatchery, is he gonna get it? Can he get it? No, he will not. He does get forced back. At the same time, Oracle dives in and gets a couple of drone kills. Lings are finally going to be trying to hit this third base, but there's an Adept here. There's a shield battery. These Lings shouldn't deal too much damage at all. Yeah, they get forced back. And it looks like these Void Rays, even though they don't get the main base, they will force a cancel on the 4th. Very annoying to deal with. Meanwhile, here come the Mutas. So I saw the Spire on the way and I was like, yo, does he want to go into Corruptors? No, he wants to go into Mutas first. And I love this. Mutas can do a lot of damage. Void Rays can struggle to keep up with them. Enough Void Rays together, they can fight the Mutas, but, you know, they have to keep up. They have to catch up to the Mutas to begin with. Meanwhile, again, I really don't like this. Like, so, ideally, especially because we have Corruptors on the way, like, again, Solo is working on his anti-air. To be fair, he hasn't scouted the third Stargate, so he doesn't know how committed Nice is, but he's gonna find out soon, because here come the Mutas into the main base. Void Rays are forced to respond, but not before 3 probes go down at the same time. Lings are going to hit the third base, but there is a cannon here. There are depths. Lings don't care, though. They are focusing down the gas. Oh, and they're going to get it. Oh, and they could almost get this Adept. Oh, just barely not. And honestly, Nice is kind of getting away with this. Flux Veins is on the way. There's a lot of Void Rays here, and they do so well against Corruptors. Unfortunately, Solar doesn't have a Hive. He doesn't have Vipers available to him. Vipers would change everything. Vipers come in, they Parasitic Bomb, and then the Corruptors can dive in as well. And Nice is forced to micro, forced to split up his army. And honestly, it can be pretty difficult. And you also lose a lot of DPS when you do that. But, yeah... we don't have a Hive, we don't have Vipers. Regardless, Solar is attempting to split up Nice as best he can, and ooh, almost gets a Void Ray. Oh god, as all these Mutas are gonna get picked off. And Nice is just committing to mass Void Ray. It's crazy, it's disgusting. Here come the Queens. Queens don't do that amazingly against Void Rays either. But we'll see. We'll see as again, Solar is pushing hard at the 4th base of Nice. The Void Ray does go down, but the Void Rays were in range of the shield battery. Is there enough anti-air here for Solar? That is the question. It looks like there is. Again, there's a lot of transfuse energy and there's not enough on the ground. If we had Disruptors, if we had Zealots to accompany these Void Rays, then Nice could hold easily. But again, he's relying on nothing but Void Rays and he's losing them left and right. The Void Rays are falling. And there was only one shield battery. We needed so many more. Oh my god, oh my god. Nice messing up with his micro. His Void Rays go a little bit too far forward. And now the Lings are flooding into the third base. Again, these Void Rays, they trade well against just Corruptor, but there's more than that here. As the Queens are pushing on forward. Oh god. More Void Rays get taken out. And sure, Nice is trading relatively well here against the Corruptors, but Lings are flooding in. They take down the cannons. The shield batteries are finishing up though, and there we go. Overcharge is being used. Maybe Nice can hold on. As the Queens are finally starting to fall, there is not enough energy for Transfuse, and Nice will defend. He lost a lot to make this happen though. And after all is said and done, who comes out on top? Let's look at the units lost. 14 Void Rays died. 14. And I don't want to harp on Nice too much, but he lost a lot of those Void Rays needlessly. Like, there was a lot of miss micro there. He could have saved so many of them, and now the Void Ray count is low enough where Solar is confident enough to just dive in and try to snipe what he can. Oof. Also bearing in mind, Nice did lose his fourth base, but he is now retaking it, and Solar, he is on 5 bases. He does have enough drones, so now he's making nothing but army. So the next wave is going to hit hard. Nice needs to prepare for this. He needs more shield batteries. He needs more of everything right now. More than just Void Rays. Again, like, mate, get some Archons going. Archons would be so good right now. Archons are amazing against Corruptors and Lings. But he just doesn't have the tech. He doesn't have the Twilight Council. Doesn't have anything. Just have Stargates. That's it. He's just trying to, like, ape his way through this. He's trying to, like, just make just nothing but He's trying to brute force his way into a win here. And I mean, if he pulls it off, then more power to him, I guess. But I don't think that's what I want in StarCraft. Oh god. Here we go. Carriers are on the way, but we like High Templar are so good, man. You know, get some High Templar, not just for the Archons, but for Storm, for feedbacks as well. Feedbacks on the Vipers. Aye. Meanwhile, the Lings are kind of pulling Nice apart a little bit, catching a couple of units here and there. Meanwhile, Nice is taking another base, but I think what I like about what Solar's doing is that he never stopped teching up, right? He got the Hive. As soon as the Hive finished, mate, Greater Spire. Let's go. We're gonna have Brood Lords coming out. We have Vipers already for the Abducts and the Parasitic Bombs. We have a Spore Forest. We have Queens for Transfuse. Like, Solar is getting the army he needs. Nice. I feel like the Mass Void Ray falls off hard. Sure, carriers are on the way, but there's very little finesse to this army from Nice. It just, I don't know, man. It just doesn't look good. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Mass Void Ray is the way. We'll see if Nice can convert me. Can he do it, mate? There we go. Here come the Brood Lords. Here come the Corruptors and the Vipers. Oh boy. And we have 2 more Stargates on the way. Oh god, the Lings are going to be cleaned up by the cannons. We do have a Parasitic Bomb. Oh my god, where are the splits? Split, Poppy, split! They're not there. Oh my god, a lot of damage on the Sky Toss. Okay, they are going to be regened by all these shield batteries, thankfully. Meanwhile, that was all the energy on the Vipers. They have gone back home to suck on some buildings. And now is the moment for Nice. You know, there's no Vipers. He doesn't have to split. Doesn't have to worry. Here he goes, pushing on forward. But the Brood Lords are chipping away at the shield batteries. And the shield batteries, they do matter in this fight. Here we go. The Void Rays are coming on in. And can Nice do it? Here come the Vipers. They have a little bit more energy. I think they have enough for an Abduct. Just an Abduct. No Parasitic Bomb. And there we go, the Corruptors are being focused down. There it is, a Parasitic Bomb does connect, but this time Nice is on top of the splits. Beautiful. Is this going to be enough though? Because it looks like the Nexus will go down, but what about the engagement? As the Void Rays are focusing down as many Corruptors as they can, but the Queens are just doing so much on the ground. Not just the Queens, but also the Spores. And it looks like Nice is breaking through, sorry, Solar is breaking through Nice. As the base does fall. And from here, I don't think Solar lets this go. Like, again, he's just got so much momentum going his way. This defensive position now broken. There are barely any shield batteries here at the newest base of Nice. Without shield batteries, you can't really fight against this. Here come the Broodlords. You have another Stargate on the way, but why? You don't have the gas to sustain this kind of production. Maybe he does. As the Void Rays are coming on forward, ooh, they're focusing down a lot of these Broodlords. The Vipers! No! Oh, there was an opportunity there to snipe too. One of them does go down. Meanwhile, so do the Spores. The Spores are real MVP. Another Viper gets sniped, but it did get a Parasitic Bomb, but the Parasitic Bomb is dealing a lot of damage. But there are just still so many Void Rays. He's doing it. Nice is pushing through. It's happening. The Void Rays, they're doing it. The Spores are dealing a lot of damage, by the way, but it's not enough. Nice holds. And he's making 5 Void Rays at a time. This is awful. What I will say is that, again, because Nice doesn't have a lot of gateways, he hasn't been harassing across the map. He hasn't been going for like Zealot run bys and stuff like that. He's been very defensive, very passive, unfortunately. So because of that, Solar's getting away with such a good economy. Like, he's never had to worry about his resources. Like, he's been at 90 or 85 drones for the longest time. Oh, that's a lot of Vipers. There's a lot of upgrades on the way as well. Looks like he wants to get into Infestors. And Nice is giving him a lot of time. And I'm like, yo, now that you have this time, tech up, right? Nah, mate. He just keeps making carriers and Void Rays. Shout out to Vinantok in the chat, mate. I blame you for this. Vinantok has always been about that Sky Toss, and I feel like that's what Nice is doing right now, just for you, buddy. Oh god. Now he's finally pushing out into the map, but I feel like it's a little bit too late. Like, it's so dangerous. Look at all these Corruptors. Look at all these Vipers. There we go. Nice, let's back off. I really feel like High Tempo would be so good, or just like, Nice. Give him 5 Archons and he would win the game right now. You know, that's all you need. But he's really stubborn with this. And it's one of those things where, like, I can't say anything if he makes this work, you know? It's like, it's just so disgusting. Oh god, as Nice has been maxed out for a while now, Solar himself has also maxed out. The creep threat has been dealt with pretty well, but now we don't just have Corruptors and Vipers and Broodlords, we also have Infestors. Pathogen Glands is done. Neuroparasite, I don't believe has been researched. No, it has not, but he still has energy, plenty of energy for Fungals. And that's a lot of Fungals. There's no high tempo to stop this, by the way. Here we go. Nice going deep into creep, and he's about to get surrounded. Here come the Infestors. They do fungal a lot of these Interceptors. And in come the Vipers alongside the Corruptors. A lot of spellcasters for Solar to try and juggle, but again, the Parasitic Bombs land, and again, a lot of damage is being dealt, but not on the Interceptors. Oh god. As more Fungals are landing, the Void Rays all get fungled. Oh my god, and the chain fungal would be real here. as Nice is taking a lot of damage. So far, not a lot has died. Oh my god, and the Void Rays are pushing through. A lot of the Infestors were left idle and they all went down. Oh no, Solar, no, please don't do it. Oh yeah, all the Vipers went down. They used all their parasitic bombs a little bit too early, and now there's only one Infestor left with energy. GG gets called and Nice takes it. Oh my god. F's in the chat for Solar. That was disgusting from Nice. It looked like Solar panicked a little bit at the end there because, again, for those who are wondering, Parasitic Bomb doesn't stack in damage. It doesn't. Like if you throw out 3 Parasitic Bombs and if they're all covering the same units, it's the same damage as 1 Parasitic Bomb. So after he threw them all out, it looks like he either lost. I think he just lost the Vipers. So there was no follow up. Meanwhile, we had a couple of fungals thrown out, but then the Infestors were kind of left towards the side, and they all died. Like they got like 2 fungals off, and that was it. And that's kind of what I was worried about because there was a lot there for Solar to control. The Infestors, the Vipers, the Corruptors, the Spores, the Queens. There was just so much going on there. And yeah, it was just too much for him. And Nice, mate, all he had to do was just control the Void Rays and the carriers. And that's it, mate. That's all you need. Anyway. Here we go. We are diving into game number 2 and spawning in at the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE. We have the South Korean Zerg player. He is blue, representing KaiZ Gaming. It is Solar, the man who despises PvZ or ZvP. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Taiwanese Protoss. He is red, representing Alpha X. It is Nice. And I just want to double check something here. Yep. So we have confirmation. Solar is the last remaining Zerg player in the entire tournament. This is it for Zerg. He is holding that Zerg flag strong here, or is he? Because it's faltering in the wind. I said this at the start of the series, and I have to reiterate it. Solar, he despises this matchup, and we see why. He can really struggle against it. It's not just the fact that he struggles against it, though. Like, again, he just doesn't like how it plays out overall. You know, that late game scenario. And Nice really taking full advantage of that and just going mass Stargate. I think at the end he had like 6 Stargate production, maybe 7. I think 7 actually, because he made that extra Stargate at the end. And he just made nothing but Void Rays and carriers. Like that doesn't bode well, you know? To be fair, we're on Blackburn. Very short rush distance by ground. Because of that, Queen pushes may hit that much harder. And that is what Solar started with in game 1, if you remember. 20 minutes ago. He started with a Queen push, with Corruptors and Spores, and honestly it was looking pretty strong. It killed the base, didn't end the game. But something like that, it'll work a lot better here on Blackburn. Much better. At the same time, because of the short rush distance by air, Skytoss can also be a lot more aggressive here. And Nice, sure, he was a lot more passive. He didn't push out across the map until he had maxed out 200 army supply. But that could change on a map like this. Meanwhile, we do have a lot of updates. Max Packs was taken out by Creator, so we do have confirmation. We have a South Korean in the lower finals, because we have nothing but Koreans left down there. Cure 2-1 Trust, Creator 2-0 Max Packs, so we have Cure versus Creator. Meanwhile, Nightmare took down Astraea and Zest took down Bly, so nothing but South Korea representing down there in the lower half of the bracket. Meanwhile, here in the upper half, the Koreans aren't doing as well. Again, Solar may have met his match with Nice leading the series, and Clem is still in game 1 against Party. Oh boy. And we'll see how we do here. Ooh, nice, going for a proxy here with this pylon in the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, these two adepts are looking to shade into the main base, and they will. There's not that many lings, but nice surround on one of the adepts before it gets behind the mineral line. Beautifully done. Only 2 drones will go down. Oh, never mind, 3. Oof. And there's no spore. There's no spore. There's no spore. The Oracle is gonna dive in. He focuses down 1, 2 drones and then backs off. Oh, ay, ay, ay. And I'm worried because we have a proxy gateway. Nice, he's looking to be aggressive. This time not committing to the Void Ray memes. Instead, what do we have? We have 2 gates here at the natural, a 3rd up here towards the north, so he wants to be aggressive with these gateway units. And we'll see what he can get done here. Obviously, he's not going to have glaives, he's not going to have blink or anything like that. They are going to be upgrade-less. Meanwhile, ooh, rough supply block for Nice there. And he's opening up with triple Stargate. Sorry, triple Oracle is what I meant. Why this guy pretending to have an American accent? What? Excuse me? I'd have you know that I am Australian. Thank you very much. No, but yeah, this is just how I speak. This is my accent. I don't have an Aussie accent, unfortunately. I say mate, obviously. But yeah. If you're familiar with our channel, we have tried to do Aussie accents in the past. It just doesn't come to me. It's hard. It's rough on my voice when I try and do that. Also, Funada for sure is in the chat. I'm not I'm not American. God damn it. But I did grow up with a South American family, and from what I know, that did affect my accents and how I speak. Obviously, it's not like my family speaks like Americans either. It's mainly Spanish, but I guess you cross Spanish with Australian, and this is what you get. Meanwhile, the adepts do shade in and get a couple of worker kills, do deny a lot of mining here in the 3rd base. Meanwhile, the Oracle's diving in, but there are plenty of queens to deal with them, and it looks like these adepts will get cleaned up by the lings. Oof, ay, ay, ay. Hold on. Shaking my head, mate. Shaking my head. All right, here we go. We do have the counterattack here from Solar. I mean, sure. I just realized that 4 oracles are made. Sorry, I was distracted by the chat. I apologize. But yeah, these oracles, they haven't really been able to do too much just because of the amount of queens. Finally, they're trying to dive into the main base. We'll see what they can get done. Obviously, they can focus on the queen, and they will. And now they will go to town with this mineral line. Ay, ay, ay. How many drones are going to go down here? 3, almost 4. But these oracles are so low. In the end, 6 will fall. I think what's important is that this does keep Solar busy. Like, he was getting ready to go for a counterattack, and in the end, he wasn't really able to. Nice was even getting ready for it with these sentries and shield batteries at the 3rd base. But in the end, it looks like he has been able to fend Solar off long enough to transition and get a decent defense at home. Meanwhile, Oracle trying to go for the gold base. It does immediately get scouted. Is there enough energy here to deny this? It looks like there is. Ooh, forces a cancel. Meanwhile, just quickly checking the vision of Nice. Has he spotted the Spire? He has not. Oh my god. Solar's so lucky that the Oracles were so aggressive in the main base and the natural and not dipping into the 3rd. Because of that, Solar does get away with the Spire. We do have 11 mutas on the way. And this could go unscattered. But here come the hallucination. Can he get there? As the mutas do pop out. The hallucination does not see the Spire. I don't think he spotted the mutas. And these mutas, they're going to go uncontested. There we go. He does know. Cannons are being thrown down in the main base and the natural in preparation for said mutas. But, oh, the oracles do get caught out. Nicely done here for Solar. Meanwhile, we do have a switch into Phoenixes, but there's only 1 Stargate, so only 1 Phoenix is being produced at a time, unfortunately. So there's no real answer to these mutas. Blink is still a ways away from completing, and the mutas, they get damage done, mate. 5 probes go down. And they maintain map control. Nice, he's forced to stay at home in his bases, and that will finally allow Solar to get this gold base up and running. Now that Solar has been able to deal with the oracles and any kind of aggression from Nice. And we'll see how Nice does here, because in game number 1, we saw him meme it up with Void Rays and Carriers, right? He committed to the Sky Toss. But here he's going for something completely different. Blink Stalkers and Colossus instead. So a very different side of Nice that we're seeing. Of course, I'm sure a lot of it does have to do with the map, right? We are on Blackburn. You know, ground-based compositions can do a little bit better here on said map. Meanwhile, these mutas haven't really been able to find too much yet, but what they're doing, what they're providing is safety, is the fact that Nice is still stuck at home. So Solar, he has the freedom to just drone up, even get a 5th base from here, really get his economy going. And to the point where Solar, he's about to max out on 200 supply. Oh, his upgrades haven't lined up yet, but in a couple seconds, Bathing Speed will finish up, and now it's Nice. He's down 80 supply. Solid force fields, let's be real here, but Bathing Speed just finishes up. Oh my god, and the Bailings, they will connect with the sentries. All the sentries will go down. Really, there's only a Colossus and a handful of Stalkers remaining, and it is not going to be enough here. Solar is just crushing through, powering through this 3rd base. The Biles even connect with the Colossus. Ay, ay, ay. And Nice just doesn't have enough. GG, Solar ties up the series 1-1. Oh my god. Thankfully, again, as a reminder, Solar, he is the last Zerg player in this tournament. If he's out, it's only going to be PvPs and PvTs from here on forward. So he is fighting back on Blackburn. I'm not really too fond of Nice's choice for build on that map, like going for the proxy gateway and like committing to that aggression. We saw that, mate, if you have enough queens, like you are able to hold on. As it looks like Bly versus Zest just finished up, it looks like Pig will be joining us here for the ace match. As Pig did just join the lobby, and let me just refresh and see what happened over there in the land of Zest versus Bly. It looks like Zest 2-0'd Bly and now is up against Nightmare. Pretty interesting that Pig decided not to follow Zest into Nightmare. It's possible that Steadfast is covering that series. That's what I would imagine. Typically, they give each other breathing room since they are the two biggest casters for this event. But here we go. We are diving into the ace match between these two players, and spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player. He is blue, representing Kai Z Gaming. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Taiwanese Protoss representing Alpha X. It is Nice. Nice. Oh boy, and I hope you're in for a long one. Or strap yourselves in for a long one, because I feel like Nice should probably go Stargate this game. We're on 2000 Atmospheres, it's much larger, you have a lot more freedom, a lot more room to work with when it comes to your Sky Toss. Counterattacks take a lot longer as well. I hope we don't see the same kind of composition that we did game 1. Again, I see that, we have more people coming into the stream here now after game 2. But in game 1, for those wondering, Nice went for 7 Stargates, mass Void Ray with Flux Veins, eventually switching to Carriers. But that's all he had. He didn't have Disruptors, he didn't have High Templar, he didn't have Charge Lots, didn't have Archons, he didn't have anything else on the ground, just pure Void Ray Carrier. And it was disgusting. Cut, I already said it. Cut. Pig, please. Oh my god. Alright, but yes, Pig is joining me, or joining us for this series. for the ace match. But yeah, it was honestly pretty disgusting what Nice did. And Solar, to combat it, Solar went Broodlord, Infestor, Corruptor, Viper, and Queens. And as we saw, like, it was just a little bit too much to control at once. When Nice eventually moved out across the map with 200 supply, Solar didn't really, he just had too much to control and he kind of fell apart. He also had some spores mixed in as well, and it just wasn't enough to deal with the carriers and the void raids. I do think that, again, if he wasn't scrambling to defend, then maybe he would have been able to engage a little bit better if he was the one being aggressive. But he was a little bit too trigger happy with his spells, with his fungals, and with his parasitic bombs. And Nice really took advantage of the situation. But we'll see how things change here in game number 3, as he is opening up with a Stargate. But again, you know, this is a pretty standard opener, and it doesn't necessarily signify that Nice is going to go for Void Rays, or Mass Void Ray, I should say. Oh boy. As we do things slowly, we do see things slowly picking up, but Nice does go in for a secondary scout, does confirm that a third base is on the way. Sees a handful of lings, but nothing too major, nothing to really ring off any alarm bells. As we do have a pylon here over towards the left-hand side of the map, but again, it's just a pylon. You know, sure, Nice could warp in across the map, but it's not the, oh my god, not the biggest of deals. Meanwhile, I was talking about it because I feel like if Nice wants to close out this series, I do think that Skytoss is the way to go. Solar notoriously struggles against Skytoss styles, but as we see, Nice isn't going for that at all. He's going for a completely different build. And on the one hand, it's great to see that Nice, he is diversifying his builds and he's not playing the same game after game after game. But at the same time, yo, it worked game 1, you could try and do something similar in a later game. But yes, we do have that Twilight Council. Oh boy. We don't see a Robo, so I'm really curious to see what this is for. Like, it's been done for a while. We don't see Glaives. There we go. There we go. Glaives finally finishes up here. Was just waiting a little bit for that gas. So we are gonna be seeing Glaive Adepts. Meanwhile, Solar, mate, we've got a lot of links here. Got a lot of lings moving out to deny that third base. He does chip away at the front line. Oh my god, there's no shield battery, but okay, doesn't commit. Not yet. And honestly, Solar, he's set up nicely to deal with Adepts. Like, he has a strong wave of lings to chase the shades, and he also has a Roach Warren on the way. Like, he has the tools he needs. What he needs now is Creep Spread, which he has. He's connected all of his bases. A Spore would be nice, and he's already got them as well, just in case it's DTs. What's interesting as well is that Nice is using this forward pylon. The Robo was delayed, which is what was throwing me off. The Robo was very delayed. So typically we see Glaive Adepts with a War Prism, but we're not going to really see that. Instead, like, they're all alone across the map. I guess this will hit a little bit faster. Meanwhile, ooh, the third base is cancelled. Yeah, Nice couldn't really do much about that. In come the Adepts though, and the Lings were all across the map. So a drone does get picked off. A lot of lost mining here at the natural base is going to be able to shade into the main. The problem is that the Roaches are slowly popping out, and they are just ready in time to deal with the Adepts. Ay. And these Adepts haven't really accomplished anything. Sure, they shade into the natural, but the Lings are already ready and waiting. Like, they all get cleaned up. And just like that, Solar defends beautifully. He did lose a couple of drones, 5 in total, but honestly, not the biggest of deals. Like, Nice can't snowball from here. You could argue that he wasn't very committed, so it doesn't matter too much, and I would agree with that, right? As Nice is going double Robo. Oh my god. Okay. Interesting. So again, because there wasn't a War Prism, like, Nice wasn't ultra committed to the Glaive Adepts. He was already transitioning. We already have a Forge. We already have upgrades on the way. And this is a very interesting turn of events. I haven't seen this in a long time. I think the last time I saw this was last year, in 2020, going for double Robo Immortal production as a follow-up. And because of this, you're going to have a lot of Immortals, and this will definitely help against the Roaches, but they're not done yet. We only have one Immortal. Like, there is a window here before the Immortal count gets out of control. The Lings do try and hit the third, but man, we got plenty of shield batteries. Nice, he defends beautifully. He does swat that away. And I don't believe, as I quickly check the vision, Solar hasn't seen the Robos. He doesn't really know the tech choice for Nice and what he's really going for. He saw the army, but there's only so much that can tell you. As the Lings come back in, again, just checking the bases, making sure there's no fast fourth or anything like that. At the same time, we do have some hallucinations that go across the map. He will see the Baneling Nest, so he knows it's going to be Ling Bane Roach Ravager, which is a very solid composition. It can be so difficult to deal with it at times, especially without enough sentries. But I do like that Nice is going for that robotic space, so he can go for those disruptors. At least I'm hoping this is for disruptors. Colossus are okay, but disruptors are really what you want against this kind of army. Up. Oof. Couple of Biles land, but the Void Ray just barely escapes. And behind all of this, Solar, mate, is getting his 5th base up and running. You know, Infestation Pit is thrown down. He's going to work on his Hive, going to work on his Vipers. He doesn't have to wait that long, though. Obviously, he can be a little bit more aggressive. The problem is that, again, there are eyes on him. The army just got revealed. Like, if Solar did go for a push, then he knows that Nice is going to be ready for him. So he's going to be feeling very confident with his attack. Meanwhile, Nice does posture a lot of Immortals here, a lot of sentries, not a lot of buffer for the army though, and he does go for Colossus instead of Disruptors. So Colossus do well against the Ling Bane, and they are of course consistent damage, so they do have a place here. Disruptors can just really pop off though, like if like 1 or 2 Purification Novas go off, that just completely swings the tide of the battle in your favor. But instead, Nice, he doesn't want to leave things up to chance. As Solar's going for a bit of a wraparound here. Nice force field. It is going to delay the push. There's no Baneling speed, by the way. Oh, but the Banelings connect anyway. And Baneling speed just finishes up, but a little bit too late. And Nice defends. Nice. But I think what's important is at the end of the day, Solar wanted to trade some army. He wanted to clear up some supply. Again, the Hive is about to finish up. He wants to clear up that supply for those Vipers as well. He wants to get rid of Roaches in the end. Oh, and Nice is pushing into creep. He has to be careful not to get surrounded. The 4th base, ooh, gets killed, not cancelled by the Banelings. Didn't see that so often. And now Nice has to respond to this army. At the same time, the Banelings are trying to sneak into the natural base. Oh, the Biles will connect. In the end, Nice will hold here at the 3rd. The Banelings were just barely cleaned up by the cannon and the force field. And Nice honestly hasn't lost too much. He has defended well. What he wasn't able to defend was the 4th base, as it was killed, right? He desperately needs to get a 4th up and running. Solar is getting away with his half of the map. Like, his economy is booming right now. All he has to do is deny the 4th over and over and over again. And that's exactly what he's doing. Lings come in, chip away at the army, chip away at the base. At the same time, the army is busy dealing with the Roach Ravager. Archons are finally coming in. They're going to do so well. Soaking with the Banelings. No, there's no reaction. Oh, Nice. He was looking elsewhere. He loses every single one of his sentries. Oh my god. Nice, please. Forced to cancel in the 4th base as well. Nice. He picked the wrong moment to look away, mates. At the same time, Lings do flood in. Nice. He was looking so good in game number 1. But here in the ace match, he's falling apart. The Forge is going to go down. Not before he finishes the upgrade, which is great and all. But again, these Lings are going uncontested. Nice. He's forced all in. But without sentries, he is so vulnerable to being surrounded. And that is exactly what Solar's getting ready for. Not just the surround, but the abducts. Oh, show us. Yoink the Colossus, and there it is. Colossus get yoinked. One gets focused down. And we got plenty more energy where that came from. There we go. We do see the abducts. Another Colossus will fall. And now there's only one Colossus left. To be fair, the Immortals haven't been dealt with. They keep pushing forward, but all we need are enough links to really get on top of them. There we go. The Immortals are finally going down. Can Nice make this work? It's going to be so close. He's trying to force his way through. The Roach Ravager, it's falling. There are reinforcements on the way, but again, they're going to be staggered. Nice, can he do it? Like, he defended at home. He cleaned everything up. Keep going, puppy. Okay, he goes for the third. Doesn't go for the natural. Forces the boys off the line. Mate, you're on a timer. You cannot give Solar time. And he bought enough time to make more Banelings. Banelings come in. They clean up all the Zealots. But the Immortals are strong enough to push through the Roach Ravager. Oh my god, Nice. Is he doing it? It's going to be so close again. There's just so much army coming out here for Solar. But here comes the War Prism to reinforce with those Zealots. Get in there, buddy. He gets in. The links are going down. The micro. Oh my god. And Nice is breaking through Solar's defenses. He forced Nice all in, and he had some beautiful Baneling connections, but he couldn't defend against the death ball that Nice had. GG gets called, and Nice takes the series 2-1. And good night, sweet prince. F's in the chat for Zerg players, because now there are 0 Zergs left in the tournament. Wow. F's in the chat. Meanwhile, we just got confirmation. Clem just 2-0'd parting. Clem got his revenge after last week, and he does take parting down. Meanwhile, Zest and Cure are the first semifinals. I believe they're being casted by Steadfast. I could be wrong, but I believe they are currently underway. So they have their PVT. Meanwhile, we have our own with Nice versus Clem.